Hi, I'm Steve Dudash, IHT Wealth Management. Welcome to this week's Wealthcast. All right, two things I want to touch on. One, about a week, 2 weeks ago, they came out and FICO scores are changing, how they're computing this. And they do this every so often. Last time was like 2014. I think they did it like 2008 or 9 before that. But it's changing, and here's how it's going to affect you. One, if you got good credit, you're probably going to have better credit now. If you got bad credit, you're probably going to have worse. So the spread's going to be a little bit bigger. But the main difference here that's going to be moving forward are people who are adding more debt to their portfolio or life. It's going to negatively affect you more. So for someone who had credit card debt and then got a home equity line to pay off the credit card debt and now has more credit card debt, you're going to get hammered a lot more than everybody else. So just be aware of that. If you're about to purchase something, be aware your score might be a little bit different, and those are some of the things you may want to look at minimizing in the future. Don't add on a ton of debt on top of debt. They don't like that now. Two, this came out 2 weeks ago now, I think, or last week. We were hammering Wells Fargo a couple of years ago when we first started doing these things, just warning people like all the problems they're having and how it's going to trickle down to people and their client, the clients of Wells Fargo, and how their fees are going to go up and the service is going to have some issues and the regulatory headaches that they're going to see. Well, it took the government about 3 years to finalize a lot of it, but their CEO, the former CEO, got thrown out of the entire banking industry, not just from being a CEO. He cannot be in the banking industry again. And he got a $17 million fine on himself, not the company, a personal fine. And so though it took the government forever to get around to doing it, I'm glad to see some of the things that we had been talking about years ago and problems that are going on over there. I'm glad to see the company being held accountable to it. Well, former CEO being held accountable, but at least it's reflecting on the company too and the problems that we were talking about years and years and years ago. So just wanted to touch on that because that was kind of an under the radar thing that got put out there. So one, FICO scores, be aware they're changing if you're about to buy something. And then two, Wells Fargo, their CEO it's good that the government finally caught up to what was going on. So I hope you have a nice weekend. Call, email if you have any questions. Twitter at IHT Wealth. And have a nice weekend. Take care. Bye.